Hi everybody, I'm Simon Diaz. Welcome to one more episode of Let's Talk. Today we're going to talk about everything fashion in 2025. Reina, Wallace, Allen, let's have fun. Let's talk. So we got my brother from another mother, Wallace Style.
Hi,
Introduce
everyone.
yourself to the public,
Son
please.
Wallace Style. I'm a fashion designer. Today I'm wearing one of my pieces from the latest collection. And then right here I have one from my oldest collection.
That's actually a pretty cool dress.
Thank you.
And my good brother, Allen, my man.
I'm Alan. I've been doing fashion design for 5-ish years. That's one of my pieces. I use laser cutter with lots of different acrylics and even more time and jump rings.
So, why don't we start by asking, how long have you been a designer, Wally?
About 5 years as well.
5 years?
Yeah. Like I started in the pandemic when everything, shut down. So
I actually had one of the first, I was able to shoot one of the first Wallace dresses in this one right here. That was March 2020, right when the pandemic hit. We were trying to, keep ourselves busy, and we were doing shoots, me and Wallace, and that dress is amazing. How long you have that dress?
yeah, I sold it after my first fashion show. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
To the girl who wore it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the best part of being a fashion designer? Because to me, and this is actually serious, I went to Wallace's house for the Birds of Paradise collection, and I had to be on my knees, don't get excited, cutting tool for Wallace. My bag was killing me, and I only did one roll. He had to do like 20.
Yeah, I did. Fun part of it is getting to wear everything you make,
That's cool.
especially when you're mannequin.
Can you wear
size.
everything you made?
I could, but I won't.
I think the good part of being a fashion designer, well, I'm not a fashion designer, but
You're a fashion photographer.
But
but I feel like the good thing about being a fashion designer is that you have like free creativity to make whatever.
yeah, you get
You
to
like-
do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
exactly.
very true. Well, unless you're being paid, then you kind of do what
Yeah.
they want
Yeah,
you to
Yeah,
do.
true.
exactly.
Yeah, that part kind of
But like
sucks.
for your own collection and stuff.
Yeah.
How you came up with the idea with the fractal fashion? That's how you call your collections, right?
Yeah, I call it fractal fashion. So I've been a freelance artist for almost 10 years now, but didn't start doing fashion until the pandemic hit. And it started out with me using leftover materials to make earrings, necklaces. Then it started turning into tops. Tops started turning to two-piece sets. Two-piece sets started turning to dresses. And now I'm at the point where I'm not using scrap anymore. I'm placing monthly orders to get material in because this is pretty much all I do now.
How much is one of those pieces on average?
They're all made to size, so it's tough to tell. Depends on the material, because there's some really, really cheap materials like this, and there's some really expensive, flashy materials. Like this dress that I'm getting ready to retire, probably going to be around the $400 mark. But it's tough to say right off the bat, because there's so much that goes into it. I got so many options for the things that I do, and the materials are very expensive.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part, everyone likes the flashy stuff, but yeah. The
but
price
the-
adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, it just adds up because like all the chains on your designs and all the rings thingies, like everything adds up, and your hours, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But for example, okay, tool is cheap.
Yeah, but for tool being cheap, you need like 500 yards of it. 500 yards of it.
You have a
Up-
dress
being
like
a two-
600 yards?
being $2 a yard.
Just materials. It's like
Yeah.
200
'Cause I
bucks.
did the math. The average cost of my material, if it was fabric, would be $82 a yard. And that's with me taking the most expensive materials and the cheapest materials and kind of doing the math there. So dresses right now, I've made and sold quite a few of them, but the really flashy ones I post are mostly statement pieces to
Yeah.
show what I can do with my art style.
What type of people you think can wear your stuff? I mean, it's not
Any.
for everyday.
Anyone can wear it. If you give me correct measurements and enough time and have a budget, I can make anything fit anyone.
I have like 6 of your pieces. One of my favorites is the rainbow For
Yeah,
the
that was fun. I remember that. That was a
You
fun
were
one.
I did.
That was a fun one. Yeah, the tops are very popular. People end up buying them and going to like festivals and raves. A lot of models end up buying it for their photo shoots as well. Many photographers like yourself have a few of my pieces around. I'm really digging that. People like it.
There's actually a fun fact with Allen pieces. There's one called Vogue.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'll let you go for it.
So I made a top. It was based off of an infinity scarf that I translated into my design. And we did a photo shoot. And Simon had submitted it to the Vogue magazine.
Vogue Photo magazine.
What is it
Vogue
called?
Photo, yeah.
Vogue Photo. And it was accepted. And I think you had said that was the first time you got accepted that quickly.
Yeah. That was 10 minutes and that was accepted.
And I didn't have a title for that design at the time, so I just decided to call it the Vogue top.
The Vogue top.
I actually have one of the designs in my bin in a fancy koi drop pattern.
It's going to be right here.
That's
That's my
my favorite
laser,
one.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, we got
good.
2 of those. And also, talking about Vogue Photo, I have the privilege to be with you too, with the museum dress. No,
Yes, you
sorry,
did.
the Kaylin dress.
I know people just
Did you
changed
rename
the
it?
name of music. It has always been the Kaylin dress because that dress. So
I remember the one with the big mural on the fabric.
Yeah, so that dress was specifically made for her. She asked me for a unique prom dress, and she wanted to be a
of that
surprise.
photo?
And me being
Yeah.
crazy,
Yes.
I decided to make this dress that's gonna be right here somewhere in the screen.
You made it out of a backdrop, right?
I did. It was like 4 backdrops. I made that dress out of 4 backdrops, and it was supposed to be a surprise. So she only saw that dress 2 days before the prom, when it was already
and
done.
I shot it.
And then he shot it, and we got featuring Vogue Photo.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
actually
I can
pretty cool.
see that being taken over.
I know how
not
many
being
people
called a
can
museum dress
right,
anymore.
and then people just started calling the museum dress, but it was a costume made for her because she was my client
I see.
and good friend. But people just name it the museum dress because of the print.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is your favorite dress that you ever made?
that's a hard question.
Of course it is. You're here to talk hard stuff.
I don't. I would say probably that one is
The
like one
Kaylin
of my
dress?
favorites. I can decide, so I'm gonna just put a 2 there, and then one is like is a red. I call it the Phoenix bodysuit.
Oh, yeah.
This behind is the Phoenix dresses from the same collection. So the Phoenix bodysuit is all red.
2 pieces?
Yeah, they're 2 pieces. All red feather bodysuit, and then they have like a removable skirt, which Simon helped me cut some of the tulle, the one he was saying. And then I just recently turned into the macaw bodysuit because now I made wings for it. That is like they're Scarlet Macaw inspired.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
dress is
and
amazing.
then the girl who wore it for the pageant just won, so
Yeah.
twice actually,
Yeah.
twice. 2
Nice.
girls who wore it for the pageant, both of them won.
If you're a photographer, you want to know where the dress is going to. New York. Let's say that.
It might be, yeah.
It might be New York. What is your favorite pieces that you ever made?
Oh man, I have a complicated relationship with the pieces that I make. Usually it's whatever I'm currently working on is my favorite one. But then as soon as I'm done with it, I'm done with it. So I'm not sure if I have necessarily a favorite piece. I have favorite photos of pieces. I can't decide a favorite piece. I think the closest thing is, like I was just saying, I just finished with an angelic look, whereas the first time I figured out how to do wings in my style.
Oh, I saw that the behind
Yeah,
the
that
scenes.
one looks
here's the behind the scenes of
amazing.
that style.
And
That
I
was
also
pretty
did
cool.
one of a koi pond, where all the different pieces where it looks like she's wearing water with the lily pads and the fish and all the cherry blossom petals. I have both of them over there. So I like those. A lot of other people like them too. But yeah, now I'm already thinking about what I want to do for the next one. So
I
it's
love your
really-
Wonder Woman stuff. That was
Yes.
actually
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
That was a really good one with Jenna
Jenna, yes.
last year.
Yeah.
That was a fun
You know,
one.
not to be biased or anything, but my favorite might be the Barbie one, just because
Oh, the Barbie one.
I wore that
Forgot
one
about
for a
that. That was a
shoot.
fun one.
You know which one was cool too? The one that Arya wore with the little crown.
Good.
Oh, the silver one.
Yes,
Yes.
that was
The silver
pretty cool
So
too.
that top that she wore was the very first top I ever made. That was the first one I ever designed.
So you got to shoot both of our first designs.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was the
sir.
very
Yes,
first.
sir.
I forgot all.
This is the
Yeah.
top, by the way. This is the outfit.
And I made a little headpiece, little chain piece for the head, and a little skirt to go with. I forgot. That's right. You did shoot the very first one. Oh yeah.
I popped those cherries.
But yeah, I like working with models who have creative ideas too, because I'm terrible at styling. I can design my pieces, but as far as figuring out what to go with it, I'm not good. So if you see me post something where it's styled very well, I take zero credit on that. Chances are either that model or a model's friend or a photographer helped me come up with the idea of styling it that particular way.
How long does it take you guys to make like one design? like let's say
Good question.
like a whole dress or a puffy dress or something.
Let's use this as a reference.
Yeah,
I guess
something
the question if it's a brand new design or if it's a design that I've done, I already have a catalog.
Fair
That's-
enough, yeah.
Let's say a brand new.
A brand new one, it could take me 2 weeks.
But
Because
like non-stop working?
No, because I do like to take breaks. If I get frustrated or I can't come up with something, I'll put something in timeout, is what I call it, where I just put it on a mannequin, push it out of the way, work on something else so I can come back with fresh eyes. But once I have the design done, like this dress, I could do in a day and a half. But like the tops that I have, all my designs have names and have their own little features. And I printed out sheets and laminated them of my templates because I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting my wife and roommate to help assembling pieces because it's just, I only have 2 hands.
Free labor, I love it.
Exactly.
You got free labor too.
You and your wife.
And Sebastian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there on his iPad. But yeah, for me, probably take usually I don't stop. I don't even eat. What do I eat? Patience. That's
I see.
that's basically what I eat. So usually for me, if I have all the materials right there, not counting material sourcing, shipping of the materials to my place, preparing materials or anything, if the materials are already prepared and it's just pattern making and making it, 2 to 5 days, but I don't stop. Keeping in mind, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I go to bed probably 3. So
I am like
Yeah.
the exact
The whole day.
opposite schedule
yeah,
of you.
I cannot stop. Like I get too focused on something because if I stop, I won't finish it.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to make one of my favorite dresses, the one with burlap? How long did it take to clean your house after that?
Oh.
Okay, it took me a day to make it because it was a very simple corset that I usually I make it like probably in a few hours, and then it was just a simple circle skirt that was. He was gonna put a picture here somewhere.
Yeah.
But to clean my house, I still cleaning it. Like it has been what 4 years,
5 years. I'm
4
still
to 5
finding
years.
burlap
I
inside your
hate
sewing
it.
machine.
Like I still finding like burlap
Little tufts.
particles everywhere. It's just like never.
That's why
ask me to do
I have
anything
a
with burlaps again.
2-car garage that I work out of. Sometimes I'll use my trash can, but most of the time, like when I'm in the groove, I'll just throw broken things right over my shoulder and not give a shit. And I'll just sweep it up at the end of the night because I don't want to stop, get up, because there's so much counting on what I do, and I have to make sure I'm counting the right things,
Yeah.
or else the rows would be all screwed up, and I have to take it apart and do it all over again. So I really, really get, once I'm in the zone, everyone knows, like, don't fucking bug me.
Nope.
I mean, the good part about your designs is probably not saying that is easy because it's not, but probably a little easier to take it apart when you fuck up.
That's the major advantage. If I need
Yeah.
to like say this is fit to a model named Kelly, shout out to Kelly. If I need to fit it to another model, it would probably take me, I don't know, an hour or 2 to refit it because I can detach things, add more, adjust it on the go.
You guys make your own patterns because I
Yes.
see you creating
Yeah.
your own patterns.
Yes, I make my own pattern.
Yeah, all of it's brand new. I'll translate things. Like a top I was showing earlier, it was based off of the bandana tops that were popular in the 90s. I saw that design, redid it in my style. Just like the Vogue top. That was started out as looking at those infinity scarves that go around. I liked how that looks. How can I make that in my style? And then I figured it out. And then there are things I just freestyle and try and just go. Because I like when I'm coming up with an idea to work in a vacuum. I don't really like looking at reference materials too much. When I'm coming up with something new, because I just wanted to see what I can do. And so much of it is just looking back on pieces I've made before, what things I'd want to change, and new things I'd want to do, and applying that to the next new design.
Yeah.
So that way I'm always doing something at least a little bit better than what I just did.
You keep your identity with your designs
Yeah.
doing that as well.
Yeah, that's one thing. My stuff is very distinct. It's very flashy.
Yeah.
So from what I hear, you guys make everything from scratch. Am I correct?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. I buy all materials as sheets of acrylic and bundles of jump rings, then I do my thing from there.
How do you feel about people who actually, I don't know, go to Temu or anywhere and buy something and just add a couple of things and call themselves a designer? How do you feel about it?
Or the only thing that they add is their tag.
Yeah, or
How do you
that.
feel about it? You are not a designer, honey. You can be a brand owner and you can resell your stuff.
I think you can still call yourself, even if you're upcycling.
Ooh, fight.
But the key point of it, yeah, you can call yourself a designer, you can call yourself whatever you want, but there is levels to the game. That's the difference.
So what if you should change the tag?
Like you can upcycle something, that's for sure. That's a very big thing right now. But
Oh, you're talking about just someone who just like
Yeah, you go
buys
to
my
a
shirt,
yeah, buy your
takes
shirt.
the dickies off, puts something else on?
Yeah.
Oh, I just call them, I don't know, a badge maker. I don't know what the. Well, chances are someone with that type of mentality isn't going to get very far, so they probably wouldn't pop up on anyone's radar.
But the thing
So they're
is,
just-
they are selling it. They are selling it, and they are going
Yeah.
on TV shows, especially talking local
Then
designers.
maybe I'm working
That
too
does
hard
that.
then.
We are.
Yeah.
From-
I saw, for example, on Facebook, that was last night, I was talking to my wife, and, she's a germophobe, so she loves bleach.
Nice.
She loves bleach. And we were talking about, and I don't know, the phones listen to your conversations, and pop somebody painting a hoodie with bleach. And they make some these really cool designs. And I was, oh, Diana, you find something that you can do too. You come back to your favorite stuff, drawing and bleach. So can be,
Yeah.
he can call himself a designer, or how you call that type of person?
I still call them a designer.
Yeah.
just
Me too,
kinda-
I would call
Because
designer
they
too.
are
Very,
making
very,
their
very
pieces
low level,
their
but-
own. Like, because let's say a porcelain designer, like the ones that makes plates and cups and whatever, right?
Yeah.
What they do, because technically most of anybody cannot have a place to create their own porcelain. So what they do, they find a style that they like, they buy it, and then they print their print that they design themselves into it.
Yeah,
You're
no,
still
I
making
get
it
it.
your own. But if you're straight up just buying it, putting your tag on it, and reselling it, then that's a total like. How you gonna put a Barbie, Margot Robbie, red carpet look on a runway 2 weeks afterwards and call yourself a designer, or like a Kendall Jenner wearing a Ramikari dress that is like vintage from like early 2000s and just put it like in your 2020 collection?
It's early
and call
2000s
yourself-
vintage.
Yes.
You're vintage now.
Jesus. Man. I feel like I just got more gray hairs.
Yeah.
But I actually have a story about someone I was going to be working with last year. He had a very, very crisp-looking orange suit and had all the spray paint designs, and he presented himself as if, oh, I'm a designer, design this. So I saw that. I don't know a whole lot about sewing, but I know suits are very difficult to make. I saw that, and I was like, oh, shit. Yeah,
Impressive.
let's definitely do a collab. You got something going on. Then come to find out, he just buys suits from wherever, like rips the shoulders, and then it spray paints on them, and that's it. And I was like, okay, cool. You're definitely, like I said, you're still a designer, but you're not presenting yourself the way that sold me on working with you.
Yeah, because
So
we're
this
sold on
ain't
the
gonna work.
craftsmanship or building a suit.
Yeah.
Like that's what you call it, a tailor person? Like they come do your measurements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would we consider a better designer than somebody that actually buys a T-shirt and prints something?
I think Taylor
that you
doesn't
design?
really call themselves a designer because they're not really designing it.
They're doing
ba-
alterations.
they're doing alterations, or like people come with, let's say, a designer that they saw on the internet, but they were not able to buy it because like old collection or whatever, and they just remake it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, people, I'm all for people. Like, it's like saying what makes someone an artist. I mean, macaroni art in the fridge, that's still art. It may not be the art that sells or an art that's going to pay your bills, but it's still considered an art. Because I know for me, before I got into fashion design, I would go to a lot of comic conventions and sell a lot of different things. One of the big things that I particularly see when it comes to sales is you have to look like something someone doesn't say, oh, I can do that at home. So if you're making and trying to sell something and someone says, oh, I can make that at home. Oh, I think I saw that on
There's
Pinterest.
no fucking way I want to make this at home.
Yeah, then you know
I did.
you're not going to make a lot of sales because they probably saw
actually.
the same Pinterest tutorial and tried to sell it. So I like to make sure all my stuff looks like it stops you and makes you look at it for a little bit and process what you're looking at. Because that's, for me, what I consider my art forms. I want you to feel something different than what you thought you felt 5 minutes ago before you saw something.
Yeah, because like if somebody's trying to replicate your dress, let's say they're like, oh, I can do
Good
it at
luck.
home. They literally have to buy a laser
luck.
cut machine.
Good luck. That's what I
Like,
say. I say
exactly.
good luck to them.
And figure out like out the measurements and stuff. And yeah.
Another story, when I was very first starting doing this, I did have someone accuse me of art theft. They didn't.
Oh, same.
I think I remember that.
I have,
Yeah.
I have one
remember that.
recently. Yeah.
So at the time, I had maybe 7 or 8 designs that were people really liked. They were convinced that one of the designs I stole from them because they had done something similar 5 years beforehand and was convinced that I saw them and stole their design, even though that particular design my wife Tessa designed. I didn't even really...
Shout out to Tessa.
Yeah, shout out to Tessa.
Yes.
And she had so many of her goons messaging me, berating me. 2 of them got racial, which was very impressive.
What did
'cause
got racial to you? You
I
got
don't.
freckles.
I was more impressed
freckles.
than offended because I don't really post myself a lot. So you really had to dig through my tagged photos or something to figure out. And even their partner messaged me saying, "You have a lot of really good work. I just don't see why you feel the need to steal." It's like, because I didn't, bro. What I think happened is I think she started doing something similar to mine years ago. Nobody gave a shit because it wasn't that creative. And then she sees me doing it. It's like, oh no, he had to have got that idea from me, as if chainmail hasn't been around for thousands of fucking years. The only thing really different is I'm making, rather than it being chainmail armor, I'm using acrylic instead of metal and leather and doing an artistic twist on it. Damn near every culture has some form of chainmail. So it's just hilarious. So it was 2 days of really stressful because my instinct is to initially lash out. Who is this person? I want to cuss them out. What's going on? That's not the professional way of doing it. So I let cooler heads prevail. They typed up a post to me explaining how it's literally impossible that I could have stole that design from them and why one particular design was the one that was stolen. After that, haven't heard shit from any of her or any of her goons ever since. But I was like, what the fuck? But yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys keep on trends? Because, sometimes what's popular in the moment might be outdated tomorrow, something like that. But you
Yeah,
guys?
that's kind of like really hard to keep up with trends because, as you say, they move quickly. But also, people tend to buy stuff that is trendy.
So you're based on your collections on trends?
Oh,
or
no.
No? You just make...
I just do whatever I want.
He's his own trend.
That's great.
That's the only way to do it.
Usually, like I keep
Trends.
track of colors, like colors for this
Oh.
season. But
Oh yeah.
about it.
Like, I mean, every year there's a color of the
Pantone,
year, the
yeah.
Pantone. So this year is about coffee, mocha-ish,
Yeah.
brownish. I never see you do anything brown.
and I won't.
You're so
It doesn't
racist.
look good. It doesn't look good.
Didn't you make like a potato inspo thing?
Oh, that was his dress. He
Yeah.
asked me.
You
for
asked for
me,
it?
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
It was a potato, a burlap dress. He was talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Based
Okay,
on
yeah.
a sack of
Oh,
potatoes.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. I would never do it willingly.
Just if you were asked to.
Yeah. Or paid for.
How do you guys keep up with the pricing? Because your stuff, both of you, it's by measurement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
And about what materials you want.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people get up and why is it so expensive? And I say, okay, cool.
My friend told me
Send the
this
link
costs
of the fabric.
$120.
Exactly.
the material.
So what I start doing now is when I'm Houston Acrylic is the main place I order from. When I have the shop, I got all the materials for the dress, I screenshot it and send it. Like, if you can find me a better price on these materials, I will gladly use your whatever link you find. Because it's just that's not how it works. Material costs material cost.
Yeah, and then there's shipping.
Yeah,
The
shipping.
taxes on top of the material.
I also demand I only use USPS priority. I don't do the ground shipping, anything of that.
Your stuff
And
is
they
fragile.
And they do pay for it because I don't want to be cheap out and get like the cheapest shipping. Something wrong happens, and then I got to deal with it all over again. You're paying the shipping the way I've always done the shipping, where I don't have
That it
issues.
should be.
Yeah, that you,
That
yeah.
it should, because I'm not going to deal with it.
That way you know, like, you have your time that's going to be delivered and everything. Like, you know already how it works.
Yes.
Like, shipping can literally delay an entire dress.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding.
Talking about delivery, Juan has a couple of stories about delivery, something like, remember that? Oh, this dress I need to make it for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Like, I have a lot of crazy clients. That's how I call them. Because,
I've got a
like, I don't want to be...
goofballs.
yeah. But, like, why? Like, you need a wedding dress and you give me, like, 2 weeks? Like, 2 weeks is for the material to arrive in my house. And now that Joanne's is closing, I can't even buy fabric here anymore. Like, everything has to be online.
Oh, yeah,
I
Joanne is
won't have any
closing.
more
Oh,
fabric store
yeah.
around.
Is it closing?
It
Yeah.
is.
I didn't know.
Like, this month, I think.
Yeah, I think the one in Bellevue is not closing. That was the only address that
No,
wasn't
they
listed.
just announced it that every single one is
Damn.
closing now because they were not able to even
They had
save
to go
those.
to LA now.
Yeah, but still, like, I cannot make dresses overnight anymore,
Yeah.
guys. Like, yeah, at least 2 weeks notice, at least.
Yeah, when people ask me for customs, I say you must have a minimum 45-day time.
Yeah.
It never takes me that long.
Usually
What
But
about
just-
if I change
yeah.
my weight? If you
Oh.
measure my
Well, that's
gain,
on you.
gain weight.
I have
Your problems.
You
a wonderful
photophobia.
story on that. And it's like a cautionary tale I tell to models that I work with about being honest about your measurements, because no designer is going to judge you for your measurements. But if you don't give proper measurements, you're not going to have a good time.
Yep.
I don't know how many years, but a while ago, a gal had messaged me about wanting a look. We figured out the details. She picked out the materials, got her measurements, paid the deposit promptly, started working like I always do with all my custom jobs. I even had a friend who had similar measurements to her come over and do a quick little fitting because she was getting a little nervous about fitting, or the things fitting, because my stuff does not stretch. My two-piece sets and tops have some adjustment for it, but the dresses, there's not much wiggle room. So I get it done, send her photos. She loves the photos. Ship it out to her. Maybe a week later, I get this long email telling me how terrible I am. I'm a horrible designer. Nothing fits. It looks like crap. I ruined her event, and all these different things. And now in situations like this, I always assume I'm the asshole. I messed something up, or I had a miscommunication. So I tell her, I apologize for everything. I will pay for shipping back to me and back to you and pay for everything to fix it. Could you just put the outfit on, take some photos with measurements next to it so I can get this adjusted really quick? She did not want to do that. She just kept berating me and nasty emails to the point where I just stopped responding because I can't work with this. I'm trying to make it right. I don't know what else to do. So leave it alone. Another week goes by. I get a message from her. Turns out what had happened was when we had talked originally, she gave me her goal measurements for the summer. And obviously, she did not stick to her routine diet exercise to achieve those goals, so nothing fit.
How'd you find out that?
Because a week later, she finally admitted that that's the issue of it didn't fit. And that, oh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to be at this and it doesn't fit. And, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't want to hear
How
any
that
of
can
it.
be your fault?
Exactly.
But she didn't
And I
know.
would have played ball with her. If she would have came to me when she first got it and it didn't fit, and she would have told me, hey man, my measurements aren't quite the same. Can you alter this for me? Now, she would have to pay for shipping and pay me to do it. I would have played ball with her. But after that verbal abuse she gave me, I just told her to go fuck herself. No, I don't care about how much money you're going to give me to fix it. You made your issue my issue and treated me like a punching bag when I was trying to make it right. And then you didn't try to make it right because you gave me improper measurements. So she had fun doing whatever it is that she did for whatever event it was, because it's not my fucking problem. And also, don't make your own adjustments like, well, I want it to be a little bit snugger, so I added extra inches to the hips. Don't do that. You don't know my material. Give me your measurements and let me, the person who's doing this work, adjust that for you. But yeah, that's a story I tell to a lot of people.
Have you had
That was
those
an
issues?
excellent lesson.
I never had an issue quite like that.
Because
I
you
have-
measured them yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm usually measure them myself. If I cannot be there, I tell them to go to a professional tailor and get their measurements done. And if they're not able to even do that online, like Zoom, I'm just like, you're doing that wrong, you're doing that right. But I always get their measurements. I never have quite an issue like that. I did have 2 clients that they lost weight because they were so nervous, but that's an easy fix. Just like take it here and there. It won't look pretty in the inside because, again, they are contacting me last minute and they want a dress in 2 days. And then like the day of the event, they get the dress and they try it on. And it's like, it's a little loose. So But usually like I have like a lot of mannequins and I just padded them like to beat the exact measurements of the client at the time. But I do have a client that every single time she loses weight when she has a party, you know her, I won't tell her name, but she gets nervous and I already know nowadays, so I make like an inch like tighter and always
an inch matters.
Yeah.
Right?
In a dress situation. Yeah.
What's the craziest request you ever had? Or you ever had?
Yours.
Mine?
Well, it depends on what you mean by
Potato
crazy.
dress.
Like crazy as in an outlandish request, or crazy as in they wanted something in an unreasonable manner.
Can I order an Iron Man suit like that?
You sure can. You can order whatever you want if
You pay.
you got the measurements and you can pay that deposit. Because to me, I'll talk to anyone all day long about design. I might not get back to you till tomorrow. We can talk all day long. But I'm not really talking to you until you're ready to put down a deposit. Nothing goes on my calendar until the deposits get paid. First priority goes to whoever's paid the deposit. Second priority, well, I guess first priority is whoever I already have a contract with.
Yes.
Second priority is whoever pays me first. Third priority is everybody else.
Yeah.
Like Reina.
Like,
Like,
No, I only had one. It was an AI picture, and it was like all butterflies and stuff. And I just like
I've gotten that too.
Like,
I've seen those
it was
too.
one of those outlandish that like it will probably weight as much as the person.
Yeah.
Like if I try to recreate that thing,
Yeah.
and I just said no to it. But like that was the only time I ever turned down something because usually I'm able to do anything.
I've gotten things like that too when I've posted my stuff online. People thinking my pieces are AI. Like, no, definitely not AI. It'd be a lot cheaper and easier if it was, but definitely real. Which is why I like posting a lot of videos too.
And usually those people always have the lowest budget. Like they want like something
Yeah.
outlandish, and they're just
Yeah.
like $100.
Yeah.
Like
I know you love those.
I can even buy
I don't
zipper.
haggle. I do not haggle with nobody.
Nope, no, thank you.
Closest thing I do to haggling is like if a friend wants something or a model I know locally wants something, like, sure, I can get you a better price, but you're coming over and you're helping me assemble it or things like that. But as far as like someone messing me, I don't do haggle. Everything I do is a luxury. No one needs my shit.
It is.
No
Like,
one needs
it's
to
not
look
like
at my
rice and
shit.
beans that you needed to survive and eat
No
every
one's going
day.
to die. The world will keep on spinning if I go away and all my stuff does do. It is a luxury.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna haggle and do all this. No.
If you want a luxury service, pay for it.
Yeah. Like with the shipping, when people complain about shipping prices, every
It's
single
not
time.
on us.
It's not my
Yeah.
price. You can
not
here,
my
I'll give you the
price.
dimensions and the weight, and you can type it in yourself so you can see. The only
You
way
can
I'll
literally create the label yourself if you want to.
Exactly. The other thing I offer is I don't offer. In my head, I offer. I don't actually say this. It's like, well, if you don't like shipping expenses, you can drive to my house and pick it up off my porch for free.
Yeah.
I
so
offer that to you for free.
you know what I do sometimes? Because crazy enough is sometimes cheaper. I Uber address to the client. I have Uber address to Portland because it was cheaper than shipping.
Yeah, that probably would have been better to do it
and
that
then
way.
like the shipping wouldn't arrive in time because it was a last minute as well.
have you ever had like a client begging for a discount or something cheaper?
Like 99%.
99.
Besides me.
Yeah.
Actually, I never asked for a
99%.
deal of you
usually
or
a
you.
Very, very, very short conversation.
Yeah.
What's your
Yes.
saying? If you ask for the homie deal,
Yeah, that's my thing. Is
homie
if
deal.
you have to ask for a homie hookup, you're
not.
probably not a homie.
Yeah.
But also, don't get butthurt if they don't offer a homie hookup. Because I know for me, if I'm getting busy, I'm not doing anything that's like, the best I'll do is like, sure, I can get you a homie hookup, but you got to wait like a month or so because I got too much shit piling up
Yeah.
to be discounting the time and stuff. And most of the time that's fine because it's like another photographer or a model I work with who's fine waiting since most of my stuff ends up getting shipped off to somewhere else. But yeah, I've had one photographer try and get my stuff for free to shoot with by name dropping a model I really like and work with. So when you mentioned that, I assumed
Same.
I assumed,
It happened
oh,
every
when are you
week.
shooting with them? Cool, I haven't seen them in a little bit. Yeah, I can meet you. oh no, I'm not shooting with them. I'm shooting with someone else. But they shot with you, and I really liked their pictures. I wanted to. Oh, so you're just asking for something for free because you know someone that I know? Again, as soon as I figured that out, it was a short conversation.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
I've never
Yeah, I
done
get
that.
that a lot with like pageant girls.
Like
Like the dresses are very pageant.
That
And they're just like,
demographic is a very specific
I need
demographic.
You. They're like very demanding. They're like, I need a specific dress into a specific color. And I want this to be exactly like this. Usually it's a copy of other designer, like a famous designer, like a Louis Vuitton or something like that.
I try and
Yeah.
mitigate my judging a book by its cover, but a lot of pageant people tend to be very demanding.
Yeah, and
they speak to me as if by them wearing my things, I will become a millionaire.
Yeah, and then they're just like, oh, by the way,
You
probably
would
gonna
got
get
5
rude.
likes.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And they're just like, and I'm gonna post pictures about it, like not even pay. I'm just like,
Exactly.
How am I gonna do a custom dress for you for free?
I don't care. If
What
you
about a
post my
sponsor? It
stuff.
says, oh, you need to sponsor me. I'm looking
Yeah.
for a sponsor. And,
Yeah, fuck all that. Oh, you want to post me in front of your other broke friends so they can ask for free shit too? I'm not.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit.
Like most of
I don't give a shit. What do you want?
I love
Yeah.
this guy.
Really think about what you're asking me and flip it around. Imagine I asked you this really stupid, dumbass question. I'm not doing it. That's another thing. I get a lot of invites for runway shows. I don't care. My bills are paid. I'm very happy in my shop working. If I do shows or events, it's because I feel like doing it for fun, getting out. I don't need to play that game. So, well, I know so-and-so. Oh, cool. So which one of them are paying me? Oh, you're not paying me and they're not paying me, but they're getting paid or they're getting stuff. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
Do you think fashion shows actually help?
No.
No, but they are fun. If you find the right people, it can be fun.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm treating it. I'm doing one fashion show August. Phil Am. Very lovely people to work with.
Yeah, they always
Yeah.
treat the designers right.
They've been treating me
If you guys,
amazing.
actually, I have been part of almost every fashion show locally, and that's the only one. That's the only one. So just Google. You're gonna know which ones are not good.
Shout out to Lou and Vina.
Yes, you
but
guys
there
are the
a
best.
lot of goofball fashion shows that I just have to say no to because I just
Just
don't care.
smash a complete season of fashion shows here in Seattle with no.
Well, but make it make sense. Like most of the fashion shows, okay, what they want exclusive collection.
They do.
Okay,
Yes, they
and
do.
then
And you have to
they're
pay
just
for
like-
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to make 13 looks. It needs to be exclusive. Nobody can ever see them online.
Yeah.
And then it's $3,000, $5,000 for you to participate in the show. And you have to get your butt and go to the casting.
Yeah.
You have to go to the promo shoot, which they are using your pictures to promote their shows,
Yeah.
your designs,
Yeah.
right? And then you have to go to rehearsal, and then you have to go to fitting, and then you have to go to the fashion show, and then all of that is time and money that you have to take care of. And it's a weekday
Yeah,
also,
I've
like a
seen you
working
like going
weekday.
on a van with your husband.
Yeah. I
like,
bought a
packing shit. Like I was there, I was like packing. So I was like, damn, bro, that's a lot of stuff. And poor one of us carrying like a,
Yeah.
like all the
and
bags.
usually there's nobody to help you. Like in those fashion shows, keep it in mind, you don't choose your models because they're just like, they give you a list with 50 models and they're just like, okay, name your favorite 30. And then they kind of like pick and choose for you.
Yeah.
You don't choose your models.
They do it kind of like a fantasy football
Yeah.
draft.
You don't choose your hair and makeup. You don't choose what
Oh,
part of the
yeah, I saw
lineup
that.
you're going to be.
Yeah.
So as a designer, do you think that's kind of an insult?
It is because like, okay, after all of that, like if you decide to create an entire collection to showcase at the show, pay your $5,000 to be at the show. They're gonna use a makeup and a hair that doesn't go with their vibe, and the models that doesn't really fit their clothes. So like they're gonna have to adjust the clothes that is already done to the body of the models that was not even selected by you really,
Yeah.
and then you get models that doesn't even know how to walk in flats.
Depending on the fashion show, you can pay up to 10 grand.
I thought you just
Or
were
more,
like
yeah.
invited to the show.
That would be the first thing.
So the
like,
thing
you
is,
get invited.
those are local fashion shows, and the fashion shows that is kind of like scamming people because if you care about fashion, like
You
Paris
say
Fashion
the
Week,
S word.
they
They are.
invite you to be there because like you're only in the show by invitation only. That means like if they like your art, you go and they don't have to pay. You pay for your trip, of course, but like you don't have to pay to be in the show because they care about fashion. If the people from Seattle cared about fashion, it will be an invitation only kind of situation.
And you
Like,
pay like about like I don't know,
because
3
they're
to 5
charging
grand.
tickets.
Yeah.
They're charging like $100 dollars per
lot.
ticket, and it's usually like 500 people
Yeah.
showing up. That's a
It's
lot
the
of
same
money.
people all over and over.
Yeah, and they don't pay
right?
for the
Yep.
menu because
Yep.
they're sponsored.
Yep.
And then there's no buyers because whoever is watching the show usually is the parents from the kids
Yeah.
that is walking the show that doesn't even know how to walk in flats.
I signed on to a real janky fashion show I ended up pulling out of because it was all those things. I ignored every red flag at the beginning because I was excusing it was the first time show. It's made by models and designers, for models and designers. So I excused a lot of gut feelings until I was like, no.
Yeah, like you're spending all that time, money, creating a collection and everything for what?
Yeah.
To have good pictures? Oh, excuse you don't even have money to buy a good light after charging like hundreds of
And then
dollars?
the photographers are usually whoever
to have
works
good
for
pictures
free.
on the runway, everybody
I
look
like
purple,
this.
and then
Exactly.
the photographers who don't even pay a good photographer only get shitty pictures.
With their phone.
And
Yeah,
like,
with their fucking
if
phone.
you have like somebody doing the video, God forgive, because
their
you're gonna have
phone.
to pay for that separately as well.
See, that's another thing I noticed. Like, oh, here's for our photos. They look like shit. But you can pay this one for the good photos. Like, bitch, didn't you say that? So that's why I said, fuck all that noise. I ordered my own red carpet, 3 foot by 10 foot. Now, every photo shoot that I do, while people are waiting to get dressed, I roll that carpet up. I set up my lights. I set my camera 3 directions. I now do fashion walks anywhere I want. Driveway, parking lot, field, back corner of a photo studio, because that's all I really want. I just want the content for it, but I don't give a shit about networking. I don't want to meet half these people. And if these people really knew me, they would know I'm probably not that. I'm kind of a miserable fuck most of the time. Because I've done a lot of therapy, my mental health stuff, but some things is just a personality trait. Sometimes I'm just a miserable asshole, and I don't want to
Yeah.
leave the house. I want to stay home and work, play video games with my dogs or something like that. So now I can get the same thing what I wanted, the photos and the video, but on my own terms, without dealing with all these goofballs.
Yeah, like the only reason that somebody will probably pay for a fashion show is because it would be cheaper than paying a photographer. But then if
Which
you
it's
partner,
not.
yeah, which is
And it's way more of a commitment.
it just depends because like depending on how many pieces you have and how many pictures you get, and if you really want a good quality photographer,
Yeah.
that would be like way more expensive. But if you're not even getting that, why don't you just take the time that you were going to spend on a fashion show and
Time and
invest
money.
on time and money, and then invest on doing like network or collaborating with a good photographer, like where you both benefit. Like the photographer may need something from you, and like they can use your pieces with their clients, or
Yeah,
use
you
their
can- you
pieces
can
like with
rent
their
a-
models and their projects, and then they take your
See,
pictures for you, and then
that's exactly
send
where
it.
I'm at with
You have
things.
exactly what you want. You have the models that you choose, you have the makeup and hair that you want for each piece, and you have good pictures from front, back, and side, not just like from the front.
And just you kind of get what you get and hope something worked.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Like it will cost way less and way less stressful, less
Yeah.
time as well.
And you end up being so like when I left that shitty fashion show, before I did, I hit up every single model on my list and I talked to them personally because if any of them felt like that hurt feelings of me pulling out, I would have stuck it out. I mean, now knowing how things unravel, I don't see any multiverse reality where I would have stuck it out. Every single one of them had their own grievances, were supportive of me pulling out, and were more excited to set up a shoot with me on our own.
Have a
idea.
good quality thing, because fashion shows you never have a good quality thing.
Yeah. And then to talk to the point you were talking about with trade work, that's where I'm at. You find yourself a good group of people, most importantly, who are on the same level of talent as you are.
Yes.
Because then you can just do trade for things. That way, no one's buying my piece. I'm not booking a model, but model's not hiring a photographer. Because realistically, we would just be passing money around in a circle.
Yeah.
We do trade work. Everyone's on the same page. We all get the creative say, and we make content going forward doing things like that.
And in the end, you guys can also like make money, because most of those times the models will like the outfit so much that they will buy. The photographers
keep
might
selling
like
your
an
outfits to
outfit,
models on the
they're gonna
fashion
buy
shows.
as well. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I only saw 2 models to be honest, like on fashion show pieces mostly. And then the photographers get a good thing out of it too, because like sometimes people really like the work you did with the photographer, and then they're gonna hire you. And yeah, it benefits everybody. Same with makeup and hair artists, like, you know, it's like a win-win situation.
So we were talking about fashion shows and stuff. what is the worst thing that ever happened to you in a fashion show?
Being in one.
Like the worst that you got.
I don't know. There's
upset.
like a few things like getting your stuff stolen, like the iron that you take to iron your clothes before the show, and then now suddenly you need to
wants to
iron
an
your clothes
iron?
before the show,
For
and
real?
they're gone. Stealing like your shoes.
Stealing?
Yeah, they steal your shoes. Like
I'll
Also,
tell
the
you. I'll
designer
tell you
had
one that happened on a fashion show
jewelry.
that we went in New York. We were in New York,
oh, yeah.
and this is like I'm not exaggerating anything. So we went with Maria Venturini. She invited us to go to New York, and right after the fashion show, we got the dresses back. One dress was so stinky that you can smell it like from a mile.
That happened every fashion
smelled
show.
like
Always
you
have
just
one.
recently cut an onion and it is. That was so bad
Yeah.
that we have to take the dress out of the room for like an hour so we can get the air out of that. That was disgusting.
Like 2 fashion shows ago, I had a situation like that. The girl got her period and it was like a bodysuit. So I literally have to cut the bottom of the bodysuit off and then reattach it. And then the other one, they smoke weed wearing my dresses.
I
I
know
was
about
never
that
able
one.
to take the smell off.
Smell of weed.
Yeah, because it was like a kind of like a dry clean dress, like with the crystals
Yeah.
and metal, so it would get rusty. Like, so
I mean, there's nothing
it
wrong
smells
with you,
better.
you know, being human. It's just like a.
Don't do it when you're wearing my dresses. And then I have like a couple times this dress actually. I have to remove the sleeve and attach a new one because somebody was really stinky when they were in the fashion show.
Damn. What about you?
I haven't had those type of stories because I haven't really done many.
Yeah.
Because most of it, I just don't engage in a lot of things unless it's a really, really sweet deal. Unless like the one I backed out of was I was kind of tricked into and gaslit myself into staying with. I don't really have a lot of bad stories with fashion shows. And I also don't see, like even the one I'm working on, I made it very clear, I have no interest in doing a circuit of shows.
Yeah.
I'm going to dip my toe in if something's good or not. But I've gotten really good at sniffing out bullshit
Yeah.
before it ends up on my,
Yeah, I have
before it
like
ends up on my
the
way.
This
owner of a
bullshit.
fashion show, even though I paid to be in the fashion show, telling me that I should give that dress to a specific model because it looks great on her, and because I was on his show, and then came to find out later that it was his daughter.
I got a good question for you guys. I got a good question. So, for example, you guys made everything by measure, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned that fashion shows. Again, I'm not against fashion shows. I don't try to blast anything, but I've seen personally that you made a dress based on a 5'7" model,
Yes.
right? I don't know the measurements, but then they give it to a size, 5'2" model, like 2 sizes small. Now your dress looks saggy and big. It looks shitty.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yes.
Does that affect your brand or something?
Absolutely. I don't even post those.
It won't affect my brand. 'Cause
But you don't post it, but everybody else have already seen it and posted and shared it.
Yeah, I just kind of like skip it. Just
that wouldn't affect my brand because if it didn't look good on them, she just wouldn't wear it. I'm only going to show my stuff the way I want to show it or not at all. So if there was a last minute switch where I designed for a particular model and they switch it out and I don't have time to adjust, it's going right back in my bin. We're
yeah,
not.
usually that
Yeah.
happened. I can't remember, but it was like a long time ago when I was first starting. They didn't have enough tall models.
Because you two are inclusive
And it was
when you
a
do
show
your
in
stuff.
Portland, so
Very
I just like
incredibly,
fuck it.
aggressively.
Yeah, and
inclusive.
you actually look
Yeah.
for every time we talk about photographing people, you are always ask for plus size, black models. Same with you.
Yeah.
I've seen
Everybody
you
buys
working
my
with-
stuff, so
Yeah,
I
and
want to
like
make sure
male,
everyone's
female,
still
we,
wearing my
cannot, we
stuff.
cannot put any
Everybody.
tag to anybody. Everybody's human. I mean, we
Yeah.
come in different size, shapes, colors, and everything. I'm legal now, by the way.
I'll verify that for myself.
Yes.
I think he just went to Walgreens with $20 and
I
printed
got your
off
gringo
something.
card.
You're green.
So
Maybe.
I'll be calling the authorities to verify that.
I got my passport on Timo.
You got a passport Timu.
I'll be checking there.
No, but again, so it's very inclusive, but at the same time, is you have a vision because I remember seeing you to make this beautiful emerald green dress for Aliyah, if I'm correct, and then somebody else wearing it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Doesn't look right. It's
Yeah, that was when I tried to have my fashion show by myself. One of the models ended up not being able to walk for me in the day, so I had to contact a model that was the only one available. I contacted a bunch of models that, looking at their pictures online, look like they would have a similar body or similar measurements. But yeah, the day of the show was the only day we were able to do the fitting, and it didn't fit right because I was doing so much things I wasn't able to even hem the dress or anything, so it was a little long for her, and then she didn't have as much breast as the other models, so
It just didn't fit right.
yeah, it was only one dress. But
You've been as a fashion designer in several magazine covers,
Yeah.
but you also been, if I'm correct, if I remember right, is NFW magazine?
NFM.
That one. I'll just put it that way.
yeah.
And you were on that, NFM. Okay, right here. That was, I love that dress. It was kind of a Picasso stuff.
Yeah.
And you
So
got the
fun.
cover. And that's actually pretty cool because,
And you took the picture?
of course I did.
And it helped.
I guess it helped, and then you come up with the
A little
idea of
bit.
the backdrop as well.
Yeah. The backdrop was, I'm a man creative too. You were here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My daughter was here.
Yeah,
And we
and
got
the
two
two
hot
models.
males in underwears.
Yeah.
Whipping paper.
I was
Crazy
Oh, we
with.
got a photo. We got a
there's
picture
photo.
of that.
Well, this is the photo. We created the backdrop, and this is the picture, the final photo.
Oh, I remember like something that you asked me about the bad thing happening on the fashion show. So most of the time, depending on the fashion show, you don't know how the runway is gonna look like, right?
Oh, yeah, they can be
So
really long,
yeah,
really short.
It could be really short. They could put like
I
so
have a
much
story for
chairs
that.
that like somebody will like it will be able to walk like just wearing like a tiny dress and pants, right? My dress is like 7 foot long. And then when I tell you like everybody's shoes was going with the dress.
Yeah. I saw the little pieces like trapping on the floor, and somebody, that
Yeah,
was
like
that
my
was
dresses
fun.
wouldn't fit, so it's like it was a nightmare. Models wasn't able to turn around.
That was a huge dress.
Yeah, it's
was
like a learning
about this
experience when you're
size of
starting.
the runway, the width of the runway.
Yeah,
That
and
was
then like my
bad.
dresses was about like larger than this table. So yeah. And then they knew because they contacted me. They know my designs are big and extravagant. So why did they do that?
Everything you like is big, puppy.
You said you got a story?
Oh, so when we're talking about inclusivity and size and measurements, so one of the nice things is the one I'm working with now, Phil Am, they want designers to do at least one design for a plus size model. I
Yes,
asked for 2.
yes.
And a story of another runway show that was been buzzing me for a while about getting involved in their production. And I finally agreed to do a phone meeting with them. And we started to talking, getting all the details. And I asked them about their inclusivity because I'm always on the lookout for reliable plus size models. I'm always on the lookout for any type of model with experience that's a little bit more than the typical body size.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, it's so hard to find.
It's
like
very
where you guys
tough.
at? Like for
it's
real.
tougher than you think.
Yeah.
Or not to you, but tougher than people think. So I got to asking them because I saw on the show because they organized the models. How is your plus size model situation? Because I didn't see a lot of them, and he had responded that they kind of cap off their model sizes at size 12.
Keep it in mind, guys. The biggest model to walk in that show, I know which show it is. It was me.
And
Your size.
I know size 8, yeah.
And I asked them, like, okay, well, what if I were to bring on board plus size models? Because I really wanted to have a plus size model on the show. And the answer he told me was something I was expecting him to say psych or laugh or giggle or something. He had told me that they usually don't get plus size models because the runway was 100 feet down and 100 feet back, and he didn't believe plus size models could walk that far.
That's fucked up.
That's what I was saying. I was waiting for him to like giggle or like that was just making a joke. Just, oh
Was serious?
shit, you're serious with that?
Damn.
That was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild. Yeah, the phone call lasted a little bit too long. I ended up just hanging up on him because I couldn't get him off the phone and just said, "Oh, my phone died." I ran out of polite ways to try and end the phone call after that.
That's
Yeah.
messed
But that
up.
was wild.
I know, like, and that fashion show usually once they select the designer and get the deposit and everything, which is not refundable, they're just like, okay, now we need to schedule a meeting to see if your garments can be in your show.
Yeah.
And then,
Damn.
yeah, and then like they go check your designs. When they were checking mine, it's like, you learned by yourself just 4 years ago. It's like, yeah, on YouTube. I was feeling offended because I knew like they were showing designs that were buying stuff from Temu and just
Oh,
like
yeah.
putting their tags
What
and reselling
brand?
there.
Where's that? Timo? What's that?
are like on chain and everything. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. There's pieces on Fashion Nova that look like mine now, but they're
There
made
is,
out of
yeah.
that metal that'll turn your skin green. Every model thinks that
And they
it would
fold and break.
Yeah, that when they wear my stuff, it'd be like that because they've bought that stuff off Amazon or Fashion Nova. Like, no. That's a way big difference between the pieces that I make versus the ones whatever child or factory slave made.
What's the best part of being in a fashion show? I mean, we talk about shit about them, but I mean,
mean,
it's fun.
Well, we're not talking shit about fashion shows. We're talking shit about
Specific
the shitty
ones.
fashion shows.
Shitty fashion shows.
There's-
Scummy
yeah.
fashion shows.
Yeah.
There's plenty of good ones. It's like anything. There's bad apples in every type of thing. There's pieces of shit.
But I guess it's like the connections you make.
That's
like,
the same. The
yeah.
networking.
Yeah, like your favorite models that I brought, and
Oh, yeah.
you work with them all the time. Jenna,
Yeah.
met in a fashion show,
Yeah.
brought her to you.
I love Jenna
your
so
favorite
much.
models.
I haven't seen her in a
Michaela,
minute, but I love her so much.
Dante.
Dante.
So it goes.
I love Dante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your favorite memory as a designer?
The favorite is when I finished the very first piece that I did, and someone came over to try it for the first time.
You feel accomplished.
I feel like, wow, I think I got it. I think I figured something out here. That's probably the favorite moment when I feel this idea that I had in my head actually worked, and people like it, and people like it enough to not only follow me and like, but have enough to want to buy it from me. That was the best feeling.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, it's something similar. Like the first time somebody paid me and paid me well. One of my first dresses, which wasn't that good of quality because it was one of my first dresses.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, somebody is willing to pay the hard-earned money for one of my dresses. Like something that I didn't even thought it was a hobby. Keeping in mind, when I started making dresses, it was for me only to model with shoots with
And
this
for
guy
me.
here. And then, yeah, that's how I started. Like,
Your
never
dresses-
thought it was even going to be a hobby or anything. It was just like, I wanted to model. I needed dresses, and I was broke because pandemic,
Different
no work.
stuff.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
your dresses aren't cheap. I mean, your dresses.
No.
I mean, the
Like,
material
if feathers
itself.
alone in that one, there's $800.
Yeah,
in
the material
feathers.
itself is expensive.
Yeah.
But you also, I see that you got, well, you're running your samples, obviously, they're being used, and
Yeah.
the scents are great. I mean, I personally have probably like 30 of your dresses, outfits,
you do have a
personally.
bunch of-
And I have about 6 or 7 of your stuff too.
Probably, yeah.
And I mean, Wallace fits more my target. I just got yours because I love to shoot your pieces. I think my favorite memory of shooting your work was when we did here was Jenna, it was Marlesa and Wallace and Lily that we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
that
when I
was
did
fun.
Marlesa, she was posing like that. That was damn. That looks so cool. One of your outfit complete because that was the first
Wasn't
time
that the day
actually.
we did the Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that day with the Wonder Woman. That was the first time I shot a dress from you. That was I think the
yeah.
green dress.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously with you, I remember the very first time because I went with Diana and a photographer closed her studio and gave us fabric. And this all wrinkled fabric and I was, I mean,
I guess.
look, I guess I take it. Sure, cool, man. Thank you.
Simon will take everything.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
not
take
even
everything.
kidding.
And it's
I
so
was saying,
something.
hey, I have buggers here. Do you want it? He was like, yeah.
Yeah, green, please. Apple green. And then we give it to Wallace. And the first ever design that Wallace made for me was a white dress, like a coat, right?
Yeah, it's like a white cape.
Sure,
coat kind of
it's
situation.
so it's you will see here. I'm gonna put a photo of
We
that.
didn't have enough fabric.
Yeah, and you gotta have like a bandana for it, and
And
it
a
looks
belt.
amazing. And when I see the dress, I was, damn, homie, this is so cool. I already saw the first 2 dresses he modeled for us, the 2 golden dresses the first time, and that was actually the third design. And then he made the burlap dress.
Yeah.
He
I made
started-
the vintage one with your mom's bed sheets.
Oh yeah. Mom, my bad.
And and I made one with the curtain from the Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
You stole a curtain from an
No, we
Indian
went to
No,
a
I
Indian
saw my
restaurant.
mom's
It was the
India's
same
food.
fabric. I love their food.
That was great food.
I'll be there tomorrow, actually.
That was so cool.
So I remember earlier you mentioned that you can put identity on your brand. What would you say your signature for your dresses are? Like,
Oh, for me, I would say, even though that's not a corset, my corsetry.
I like the dress what you
And the
made with
tulle.
with the skirts that go like this. That you made
The fringe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Those are
just
pretty cool.
recently I started incorporating fringe in my designs, and I have been loving it. But yeah,
And you made for men and women.
yeah, I
right?
make I design for men, women, and kids. Anybody.
I'm not
Identity.
sure. And a particular identity. I don't know. I feel like for my stuff, I kind of let whoever's looking at it decide what they feel the identity is. 'Cause I couldn't.
I feel like just looking at your designs, you're just like, yep, Alan.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
not even
That's-
reason.
yeah.
You just look at it,
You're
just like
right.
there's nobody else who will do that.
For what
Yeah.
I mean, Alan, let me tell you really quick. He used to do like cosplay stuff, right?
A lot of cosplay stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of movie stuff, TV stuff. That's what I started doing, I think, in 2013, 2016.
Actually, he just gave me one of my favorite pieces I ever shoot was an armor made of foam.
Wow.
You can guys see it right here.
I haven't
That's
got
pretty cool.
anything.
And you won. You have to buy now.
I thought we were besties.
No, homies.
But yeah, I started doing that. But when the pandemic hit, all those types of jobs dried up. So if I wanted to stay being a freelance artist, I was kind of forced to be creative. And luckily, I ended up getting something that people really
That's
like.
pretty cool, dude. I saw something that that's fractal. That's Alan.
Oh yeah, fun
Yeah.
fact. Alan did the earrings for my fashion show for this collection.
Oh, yeah,
The
that's
water
right.
series.
Yeah. And now he's making me butterflies.
Yeah, because most things, I'm a shit talker, but I'm not a bragger. If people want to say, oh, what's your best stuff? Here's my Instagram. You decide if I'm good or not.
This is Alan's Instagram. Please go follow him.
And you can decide if I'm good or not. You can decide if you like it or not. Because art is subjective.
Yeah.
Until there's money involved, then it's objective.
And for Wallace is Wallace Style _fashion. Follow this amazing artist because not only the journey is amazing, the quality of the stuff, and I can brag for you too. Whatever they made is amazing. Most of my favorite photos that I ever had was with their pieces. My clients, every time they come here, and always people be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Then, yeah, this one of a kind, and that's made by Wallace. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up, and starting today, we're gonna have a section called I Recommend. So what would you recommend to the brand new people who would like to be involved in the fashion world?
I would recommend, besides just getting better at your craft and understanding your materials, is learning how to say no to people and events. Because a lot of people say no, but not in the best way. They say
Like
it
a
around.
hard no?
Like a hard no, but that hard no, I feel, to be
Respectful
respectful,
no.
is a respectful no that's followed by a reason. So I end up turning down a lot of photographers and models and some events that reach out to me because of whatever reason. So for whatever reason, I don't want to work with this particular person. I tell them I'm not interested, but I also give them a reason why. Like example, your photos are still kind of getting there, and I value my time a lot. So for now, I'm not interested, but maybe next summer or something like that. When I've given people a reason with my no, I've never had anyone get butthurt. The only time people get all salty is if you're saying no in a disrespectful way. But if you tell them no and offer a reason why, that always
No,
ends up
because
being,
you suck.
I gotta say that, but in a better way. But that's always
So
been
you should
better
have code a
received.
little bit.
A little bit. It depends on how they approach me.
Are you telling the
I
truth?
mean, you're not sugarcoating. You're literally telling them they suck, but in a respectful way.
Exactly.
You're just being professional.
But yeah, learning how to say no to things and establishing a good boundary of what you will and will not tolerate.
That's good.
What about you, Welly?
Ooh. So I'm kind of going to give two. One was going to be really quick. Learn how to make things. As a designer, just learn how to make things better on your craft. Educate yourself. And just like in general, never work for free. Come on, guys. You're allowing them to keep repeating that,
But
especially
exposure
models.
will never happen.
Yeah, exposure doesn't pay the bills.
They're just going to show you off to
And
their other broke
to be
friends who want
honest,
you to work for free.
Like working, not even with celebrity, gives you that exposure. Like I can tell you by experience, people that follows that celebrity will not follow you unless they're like Taylor Swift or like somebody from BTS. They will not follow you. Like they will not. Exposure doesn't pay the bills. Like don't work for free.
Wouldn't you work for free for Taylor Swift?
For her, yes, because she's Taylor Swift, like I just said. But there's like
I hate you. You know.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Why?
Oh,
You know?
oh no.
That's a good advice. Don't work for free. What about you? Any advice for the people?
Yeah, I would say if you are going to do like a TFP with a photographer, designer, or makeup
Anybody.
artist, or anybody, just try to be more selective
Yes.
and try to see if everyone is getting something from each other, not just like
Equally.
you.
Not just,
yeah.
yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, surround yourself with people that is in your level or better than you that you can learn from it. Like,
Yeah.
be selective because,
Yeah.
well, we had a experience recently, right? Like, where a photographer came, like a very important photographer, and then just looking at portfolio of and people they were working with are just like nope, just based on that. Even though the model was great, even though they look great, just based on the people they work with, it was an immediate no.
Yep.
So you lost money, you lost a good opportunity.
Yeah, I would recommend for people who want to start fashion is if you want to work with a photographer, be sure that you get the photos that you are looking for to show your designs because you, for example, that's Spanglish. Okay. For example, you try to get a photographer that I don't know, weddings, and because it has a good lighting, a good coloring, doesn't mean it's a fashion designer. Some of the things I take care of with Wallace is her color. The color of the dresses is we have the color checker, so the color is the representation of the color we're presenting. It's not like different.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
these guys take a lot of time and effort to pick the right color to do the outfits, and then some preset may make it instead looks greenish or
like
too
most
green.
of the photographers always use
Yeah.
the sepia or whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
That's happened
or,
to me.
or pictures in black and white when you
Oh.
have a
Yeah.
fashion
Was a-
designer.
yeah, I was going to say like
Yeah.
as a makeup artist.
There's a makeup artist. They put-
Somebody's just like, oh, I really want a colorful makeup look with blue eyeshadow and red lips, and then out they deliver this black and white
black and white
pictures.
photos. Yeah, be sure that you got pictures from the back of your design, full body designs. Like I told Alan, his grandpa pictures, but it's still as a designer you want to show
That's what
everything.
sells.
to,
Like,
right?
to
The e-commerce type
clarify,
of-
what he calls a grandpa photo is just a clean photo that shows off everything without a bunch of goofy
e-commerce type of
glitters
vibe.
and shades and filter, all that stuff.
yeah,
And also, this is a big advice if you are new into the fashion world, if you want to work with a photographer that, maybe starting or any type of photographer, and if you're going to give your pieces, I would strongly suggest keep a deposit because how many dresses you got
Get
ruined.
ruined.
Somebody just wear it. Oh, I have this amazing creative deal. Let's go on a tree, and the dress ripped, or they walk on the
go in the
mud.
water,
and
the
washing one of those
mud,
dresses can
lay
be
in the
$300, man.
floor.
Yeah.
Just treat your pieces. Just keep in mind and consideration that you are creating something that represents your brand, and the way people is treating your designs or your pieces is pretty much the way they consider working with you. So
Yeah.
I never give Wallace a dirty dress. I'm very respectful with it. I never rip a dress so far yet. Never with your stuff neither. So it's
Which is why I don't loan pieces. I don't rent my pieces either.
be very careful. So be very careful because if they break one of a kind piece and the material, it will take 3 months to arrive.
Yeah, and most of the material, some like this fabric you can even buy again.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
is that like fabric like every season buy. Like
Yeah.
you can't find it anymore to buy. Like there's new things coming up every day.
Yeah.
Like
Any last words?
follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
What's your
that's
Instagram is right here.
I have a bunch of social media, but I only give a shit about Instagram.
Crying
Same.
Sacks. What about you? Wrap
about
up.
me?
Say goodbye.
Yeah. But no, just.
All right, guys. Until next time. Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. We love you. And kindly, bye.